There exists a threat, from anti-hunting groups to politicians trying to give our land away, and we won't stand for it. Those vast western landscapes provide the space for our wildlife to thrive and a place for hunters and anglers to fuel the fire that sparks their soul. In this show, we share our love of hunting, fishing, and conservation. Here, we provide the foundation to meet these threats through passion and the grit of the American outdoorsman. Welcome to the Western Huntsman Podcast. What's happening, guys? How's it going? Hey, this is Jim Huntsman, host of the Western Huntsman Podcast, coming at you from the Broken Tine Studio right here in Hayden, Idaho. It probably sounds pretty echoey in here. The old Broken Tine Studio here is getting a makeover and has been for a while, but now I got all the soundproofing stuff off the walls and I sound like I'm in an echo chamber or something. It's so sorry if you get, you pick up a little bit on that. I've got a pretty good mic, but all I hear is echo. So anyway, dealing with that. Guys, this is just a quick bonus episode to talk about the new partnership we just made with Tactacam. I think it's worth doing just an announcement, and I want to, it's like a two-part thing. I want to kind of explain what these sponsorships mean to the show and maybe get rid of some of the misconceptions out there as to how these things work, and then talk about what Tactacam has and why I believe in the product and the brand, because I did tell you guys a long time ago when we started bringing these sponsors on the show that I don't bring just anybody on. I get approached by some companies that have, this gadget or whatever, this and that coming at me. Hey, we want to, sponsor the show and advertise on your podcast. And I have to tell them, you guys, I've never used your product before. I have no idea how it works. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. And I'm not one of those dudes. This show this show started as just kind of a hobby for me. And it's moved into a much larger movement than I initially anticipated, thanks to you guys listening. And for that, I'm super thankful. But that said, this show runs in the red. Like, this is not some moneymaker. Maybe one day it will be, and I hope so. But it's actually pretty costly, and I knew that going in. So I'm not complaining about it. But it's important, I think, that you guys understand like what level we're on at the show. And to understand how, within the hunting industry, there are a lot of different ways that these partnerships and sponsorships are negotiated. And sometimes they're, just like a hunting sponsorship, like, this bow PSE sponsors so-and-so and blah, 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 as an individual. Sometimes they're sponsoring a podcast show. Sometimes they're, sponsoring a YouTube video series or even a TV series, Anyway, the point being is there's a lot of different ways these things are negotiated, and there are some industry norms, and I would say that the Western Huntsman Podcast operates a little bit outside of what the norms usually are. But the thing that I want to make clear with you, that for me, for this show, for the Western Huntsman Podcast and the entirety of the platform, when you go in and use a promo code, and you purchase something and you type in the promo code, let's say you're on screegear.com and you use the Western Huntsman, it's going to save you 15%, right? And you get the free shipping and all that kind of stuff. That's great, but I, as the host, or the Broken Tine Studio as the company, we do not get any kind of kickback or commission off of that. That's not how I've negotiated these. And it's for a couple of reasons. But mainly, I feel like that sometimes could push the wrong types of things to my audience in terms of messaging and stuff. And I want it to be very legitimate and very from a place of sincerity, if that makes sense. So I don't personally get any kickbacks. Nobody does when I say that from the Western Huntsman. So not personally. We just don't have, there's no kickbacks, there's no commission, there's no percentage point we get paid or anything like that every time you use a promo code. The only thing the promo codes do for the show is give the sponsor justification to what we have negotiated, because it's not based on volume at this point. We're just not, we're like, you have 3 levels of podcasting and shows. Like you have your super small ones that they're either like brand new or whatever. They don't have a lot of traction yet, or they just don't have a big audience yet. And then you have your like monster hunting podcasts, right? Like Meat Eater and Randy Newberg. These things are getting 50,000 plus downloads an episode. And then you have kind of your mid-sized podcasts, and that's what our platform falls under. And we're like a mid-sized podcast, so we're not big enough to sit back and make a bunch of money doing this, but we're big enough that we can attract sponsors that becomes this mutually beneficial partnership between us and whatever the sponsor is. And so that's what we've done, and that's how we've negotiated everything, so that it's just not like, if you jump on PhelpsGameCalls.com and type in Huntsman10 or whatever our promo code is for that, I don't get a paycheck or something. It's just not how that works. It's just they can look back and say, oh, okay, for the last year we've been getting this many hits from the Huntsman promo code, so let's go ahead and continue that and keep the partnership going. And that's what's important to me. So with all that said, I'll give you some inside information here. I'd like to, from the bottom of my heart, welcome Tactacam to the sponsorship and the partnership level of the Western Huntsman podcast. We're super excited. So the other thing that I kind of alluded to earlier is I don't bring on anybody. I have to genuinely have past experience with the product. I have to know the product. I have to have field tested it personally, not based on somebody's opinion. I have to go out and I have to have experience with that product or service. And so just like with all the stuff, I've been using Phelps for a long time. Same with Scree Gear, Hoffman boots, again, years with Hoffman boots. So this is stuff that I genuinely, sincerely, and legitimately believe in. It's not just, somebody approached us and they're like, oh yeah, go, we're going to give you this and that and be a sponsor. Nope, not how that works with me, guys. I just don't believe there's a lot of phoniness out there because of that kind of shit, and I just don't do that. So nothing's changed here. Tactacam. I've had a Tactacam now for over a year. I've had a couple of them, in fact, and I know the product, and I'm really excited about. I've been working with Rudy Nunez, which, if you've listened to the show, he's been on. He was on last summer. And we talked all sorts of stuff. We didn't just talk about Tactacam. We talked about hunting, because he's down in Arizona. And so him and I are actually going, as part of this deal, we're going on a Coues deer hunt next October in Arizona. I'm really excited about that, because I've only got let's see, I've got whitetail, I've got mule deer, I've never shot a blacktail, and I've never shot a Coues deer. And then you can throw in the Sitka deer up in Alaska. So I'm trying to close the gap on the big 5 there. And so that Coues deer hunt's coming up in October, but I'll be going with Rudy, and Rudy is a great guy. He's a representative for Tactacam. I'm actually not totally sure what his title is, but he's been there a long time, and it says a lot about the company and him that he's been there long enough, and he's still super passionate about the Tactacam lineup. Because I see why. It's an innovative company, and what they did is they solved a big problem for hunters. A lot of us are not professional photographers that can hire a cameraman to go out and film our hunts, but we want that video, whether we're producing it to put it on, as content for, consumption, or say we got a big YouTube channel we want to promote or whatever, or whether you're like me, who's never really done that, but I love having the footage, both for memories. Also, another key thing with having this footage is the fact that you can go back and you've had your point of view film that you took while you were, say, calling in a big bull elk last September or something, right? And you can go back and you can see where you screwed up. Because what you see live in person is going to be different than how you see it from a camera. And you miss things in real time that you don't pick up on. And so it's a great way to learn where mistakes are being made. And I've used it for that quite a bit. So that is, I would encourage everybody to do that. Whether you're filming with Tactacam or whatever, film your hunts, because you'd be amazed at what you pick up on. It's like, damn, I shouldn't have done that. If I wouldn't have done that, that bull would have, taken 3 more steps and I could have had an arrow in him, that kind of thing. So kind of like a football team watches their opposing teams and see what plays they're running and how strong their quarterback is and things of that nature. So anyway, Tactacam, guys, there's a few things that you need to know about Tactacam before we wrap this up. Tactacam, like I said earlier, it solved some problems for hunters. Most hunters, like I was saying, we don't have videographers, we don't have degrees in film, we don't know the nuances of some of these cameras that you got to get used to and figure out how to operate, and we just don't know what we're doing with the filming side of it. That's not the case for everybody. Some of you guys are just, you're way into that stuff, and that's totally cool. But for a lot of us, we don't really know what we're doing. So Tactacam simplified the whole thing. It's a point of view camera. A lot of people, you see a lot of videos, they're using like a GoPro or something. And the GoPro works to a certain degree, but it also makes it look like you're a million miles away. You know what I mean? Like I was watching this elk video and like most point of view cameras are like this. The elk, it looks like he sauced this elk at like 120 yards. That's how far away. And you couldn't hear the elk at all. The elk was bugling. You could see it bugling barely because it looked like 120 yards away, but you couldn't hear it. So the sound sucks on the point of view cameras. The actual footage sucks on most point of view cameras. Tactacam solved all those issues and made it super easy. For me, a guy that's not way into technology and way into, knowing how all that stuff works, and for a guy who's just frankly not super smart, Tactacam simplified everything. All I have to do is push a button. I have the 5.0, so it Bluetooths off to my phone, right? So I can hit record from my phone. I could pause it. I could zoom, everything. There's like 3 buttons that you need to know how to use. For me, that's super important. There's not like a massive amount of settings that you have to sit and like just mess around with in the field. You push record, you push stop, and it's 4K high resolution footage with really good sound quality. So that solves a lot of problems for a guy, again, a simpleton like me. If I can use the camera, anybody can use a camera. All right. It's as simple as that. The other cool thing with Tactacam, the cameras, they are super versatile, meaning you can mount them to your weapon where that's legal. And I'll get into that in just a minute. You could shoulder mount, you could head mount. You can mount to different types of like tripods and this. I have this like clip. I want to. What the heck's the name of that thing? It's called a Jaws Flex Clamp, and that thing I can clip that to a branch as I'm calling in a bull elk, and it gets the whole thing on footage. It captures the whole scene. And with great sound, and it's super easy because when I'm done doing that, I just clip it to my pack and I'm off. It's way easy. That's what I love about it. Everything's just so easy to use, and so super important for me. So that's with the camera. Again, it's 4K resolution, which I'm not totally sure about this, but I think you have to have 4K to enter into the full draw film tour. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just what I heard. Either way, the 4K looks a lot better and it comes across a lot clearer when you transfer it. So you can get like 2.5 hours of recording time on this thing. And so that's the camera. That's the actual camera. There's other products. If you jump on Tactacam.com and check it out, they have the FTS, which stands for Film Through Scope, and that will mount to most scopes on the market. Most of your scopes out there on the market will have this. And so basically you stick your camera in that, it's mounted to your scope, and you're filming from the point of view of what you're seeing through your scope. It doesn't affect how you're seeing through the scope. It's just the way it attaches. You'd have to see it. I can't really explain it, but it's super cool, especially if you're trying to sight in your rifle. That's a great way. But if you're filming, let's say you're filming a mule deer hunt in the high country and you want to capture the shot, you just throw this FTS on your rifle and film it. And you will capture that footage and you combine it with other cameras that you have. So that's another really cool part about Tactacam is you can have like 3 or 4 cameras. You can have one mounted to your shoulder or head mount, and then have one on that jaw clamp thing. and then have one mounted to your weapon, and you've got all these different angles you're connecting, and you control all three of those through the app. So it's easy to use. Super. You're not pushing a bunch of buttons worrying about it. You like have a built-in cameraman right there on your phone. Now, let's talk about putting it on your weapon, because it'll mount to a bow, it'll mount to a rifle, it'll mount to a shotgun, crossbow, anything. The problem with that is in some states you need to really pay attention to what the regs are. Say about that. Like, for example, in Idaho, you cannot connect this thing to your rifle when you're hunting mule deer or any other kind of big game species. You cannot have it mounted to your weapon, bow or rifle. You can, however, for turkey. Or if I'm going coyote hunting in a couple weeks, I'm going to mount one to my rifle for coyote hunting. For anything that is non-big game, you can have the camera. That's legit. So whatever state you're in, you need to check your regs and make sure you're good to go, so you're not breaking any laws and getting yourself in trouble. I can't use it for big game in the state of Idaho, but that's okay, because it's a great camera to mount on my shoulder and that jaw clamp and get really good 2 or 3 different angles of the situation and the scenario of which I'm hunting. And that's what's important to me. So just keep that in mind. Again, let's reiterate that. Check the regs before you mount it to a weapon. I don't care if you're in Arizona, Washington. Washington, I think you're good. Arizona, you're good. But like Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Nevada, Colorado, I have no idea. You need to check the regs for sure. Other products, the Spotter LR. That thing's sweet, man. You need to check that out. Just jump on Tactacam and check out the Spotter LR. And I'm going to leave that at that because it's cool. The thing I'm most excited about is the Reveal. For me, the Reveal is a cell camera. So it's a game camera that you could set as long as there's cell phone service. You're going to get those images in real time. So let's say you manage hunting property, or you've got property. Like for me, I've got 5 acres here in North Idaho, and we get elk and deer and bear and moose and squirrels, and we even had a rabbit the other day. That was odd. Not sure where that thing came from, but usually my dog keeps those off the property. Yeah, but we get turkeys. We get everything up here on our place. So it's cool to be able to get those images in real time as I'm like monitoring my property. Right? If I get a trespasser, I'm going to know immediately. Again, if you're managing, you've got like a game management area. You've got a whitetail hunting ranch or something like that. In real time, you are getting these images, and it's a cell cam. I don't know how much I need to explain on that. It's a cell cam. It's badass, and they've even got like a newer version coming out this spring. So really cool products. And if you're looking on the website, there's tons of really good reviews. So guys, I'm not going to partner with a company that I don't believe in. I'm not going to partner with a company that has shit for products. I'm not going to partner with a company that I don't feel like you would benefit from. This Tactacam is no different than my other sponsors. It's a great product. It's a great brand, and it's backed by a great company that actually backs up their stuff, and they'll take really good care of you. So jump on Tactacam.com. Now, in this case, this particular sponsorship, I do not have a promo code, and I'm not sure if that's going to change in the future. Because what happens is if you look at the price point of these cameras and compare that to some of the other professional video cameras that are out there available for hunters to use, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. These things are not going to cost you an arm and a leg. So you'll be happy as a fat kid on a Twinkie, man. They're priced very aggressively. Pretty much anybody can afford these things, and they do a really, really good job. So that is my spiel for Tactacam, guys. Jump on there. Check it out, Tactacam.com. If you have any questions, I'll put Rudy's email in the show notes. He'd be happy to answer any questions. He's super hands-on, and he knows a lot about these products. Guys, again, thank you so much for supporting the show and bearing with me with some of these sponsorships. And hopefully now you have a better understanding of what it means as when they are sponsors. They are super important to the show. If the show has any future, we definitely need these sponsors. But I promise I'm not going to peddle you a bunch of BS that doesn't apply to hunting and doesn't benefit you as a listener to this show as we move forward. So and I think that's just important. So thank you guys for that. I'd really encourage you to check out all of our sponsors. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't mention them. Phelps Game Calls, guys. Don't miss out on turkey season. Get on PhelpsGameCalls.com and get you some turkey calls. Promo code is Huntsman10. Yeah, save you 10%. Scree Gear. The Western Huntsman is a promo code. They have a new pattern coming out. If you don't have high quality technical apparel to wear in the field, you need to check out Scree Gear. It's just as good as anything else you'll find out there, and you won't need to take a second mortgage out to get it. So check them out. Hoffman Boots. Guys, I've been running Hoffman Boots for so long. I should be like part owner. But I can't say enough good things about Hoffman Boots. It's a great product, guys. Definitely check it out. Promo code is Huntsman10, all caps lock for 10% off. Get your boots because sometimes they have quite the waiting period, so check that out. And then the last not formal sponsor, but they at least gave us a promo code. Again, I don't get paid for it. I don't get anything from it, but it does help save you guys 10%. If you guys are planning on baiting bears, jump on baitem907.com and check out the products that they have. I have a ton of it. I love it. But I do recommend, if you're going to get some Baitem 907, go to like Home Depot and get one of those heavy duty bins, like with the yellow lids they have, and they like seal when you put them on. I don't know, they're $10 or $15 or something like that. But they're heavy duty. They're not like those chintzy Walmart bins. Go get one of those to keep your Baitem 907 attractants in, because that shit'll it is potent. I mean, it is potent, man. So just keep that in mind when you order it. Don't keep it in your house or your wife will kill you. So guys, promo code on that is Huntsman10 for 10% off at Baitem 907. Guys, welcome aboard Tactacam. Show them some love. Go check out their website. If there's any way to let them know that you were sent from the Western Huntsman, sometimes they have a comment section at checkout. I'd appreciate that. Go check them out and support them and support our other sponsors. It means a lot to the show and the future of the show. This is not the weekly episode. This is just a bonus episode. You don't want to miss this week's episode. It is freaking insane, and it is something that I've never really done or talked about before. Very unique, and I want to know what you guys think about it. So stay tuned. That one's coming out tomorrow. All right, guys, have a great day. We'll talk to you later. You made it all the way to the end. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. We sure appreciate your support. This is Jim Huntsman signing off and reminding you to check us out at Instagram at The Western Huntsman and on Facebook at The Western Huntsman. And you can also check out the website at thewesternhuntsman.com. Thanks again. We'll see you guys next time. Stay Western, and I'll see you on the mountain.